as soon as I arrive home, yeah, I moved on. Some things in life are too simple. Some things in life are too simple. I don't really wanna drive home, but as soon as I arrive home, yeah, I moved on. Some things in life are too simple. Some things in life are too simple. Too simple.
Welcome to Brands Hatch. Located in Kent, England, it was opened back in 1926 as a dirt motorcycle circuit, but the tarmac Grand Prix circuit we know today was officially opened in 1960 to host major events like Formula 1. The variety of racing disciplines, from high-speed GTs to powerful touring cars and motorcycles, combined with the circuit's rich history and challenging layout, makes Brands Hatch one of the most iconic motorsport venues in the world. But, to be specific, the venue has hosted Formula 1, WTCC, DTM, BTCC, the British GT, and more. But, most importantly, the GT World Challenge Europe. In CMRSC, we have visited the track for the 2023 BTCC Legends Championship and more recently the 2024 GT4 International Championship. GT3 events at Brands Hatch often feature sprint race formats with races lasting around 60 minutes and including driver changes. The shorter races make great action and intense from start to finish. The GT World Challenge events at Brands Hatch draw large crowds with fans enjoying a variety of GT3 cars going wheel to wheel on action with this iconic circuit. The Grand Prix circuit is a 3.9 kilometer long track featuring elevation changes, fast corners, and technical sections that test both drivers, car, and setup. Overtaking maneuvers are a spectacle to watch around here, so look out for them, especially with these corners, such as Turn 1, known as Paddock Hill Bend. It's very great as this is one of the most iconic corners in motorsport. It's a steep downhill right-hander with a blind apex requiring immense skill to get it right. Drivers can outbrake rivals on the inside here, but they must stay committed to the corner to avoid running wide. Graham Hill Bend. After Druids, this left-hander offers an opportunity to out-accelerate a rival by getting better traction out of Druids and taking the inside line. Hawthorne Bend is one of the fastest corners on the circuit, as this right-hander allows for brave overtakes under braking if drivers can get alongside. It's especially thrilling in GT races. Clearways into Clark Curve, known as Turn 9 in general. This sweeping right-hander leads onto the main straight, where drivers can gain momentum to set up an overtake back into Paddock Hill Bend. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host to the 4th round of the 2025 CMRSC GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. After an almost record-breaking attendance at Germany, it was yet another epic race to witness. Drama filled the air with pit lane penalties filling up once again, but the stars of the show were the ones who pulled off the most daring of overtakes, and by the end of it, it would be none other than Mike Van Doren, who would collect his hat trick, now winning the 3rd race in this championship and in a row. It is now time for a new update, as the Racing Rats have released their highly anticipated 2.0 update to their GT3 cars. And to say it hit the paddock hard would be an understatement, as the drivers now face a new challenge with understanding the machines as they pilot them, now working on new setups, which has led to some attention from the fast drivers. Keen to try out the cars, it has really left us with more questions than answers, but as time continues and times in the server improve through practice week, it is still anyone's game, and it can easily be the momentum shift of this championship picture. So expect some hard battling as the drivers now face a shorter track with lap times well under the 2-minute mark. The new era of CMRSC is ready for the storm. That is the 4th race of 8 now in the UK, as this is round 4, the British GT3 Grand Prix. Ladies Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to another round of the GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. Thank you for joining us this evening. We already have an amazing viewer count going on, 13 viewers currently watching the stream, and we're just getting started here on this evening of racing. We're about to get underway of the fourth round of the championship, the British Grand Prix here at Brands Hatch. And what a better way to have the British Grand Prix at this iconic circuit. The last time we were here was for the little brothers of these cars, the GT4 category. And what an amazing showcase we got, amazing racing. And it's all gonna come down to this. With this fourth round underway, we are entering into the halfway mark in the championship, and oh boy, is the championship still very much on. But the first thing we want to get into is this on track. This is not just your regular GT3 cars that we're looking at. These cars provided to us from the Racing Rats, and this is the 2.0 GT3 mod pack. It's an absolutely amazing mod pack out here, and the driver's going to be taking it on. Granted, these cars are very hard to drive. They take real-life data from, get this, IMSA. If you don't know what IMSA is, but you've heard of a famous race out there, the Daytona 24. Yeah, these cars are modeled just after those ones that are racing out right now in the Daytona 24 as of this moment right now. So, these are going to be drivers. They're going to be driving in some really realistic cars. You're going to get the most realistic racing out of the cars at least. But nonetheless, though, we have a great race coming up for you here today. But going off back to my side, I want to welcome you out here. We are very, very thankful for all the support throughout this past week. We have grown so much in our community, and we just want to thank you so much for it. We are on course for 750 subscribers. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. It would help us out a lot. Join into the live chats, cheer on your favorite drivers, and overall have a good time here, as you're not going to get better racing anywhere else but here. This is one of the best leagues you can find in the world. Best community, best streams, best action on the track. You're going to see it very soon. Free practice is underway, qualifying in 3 minutes, and in the race, 50 minutes long, but nothing short and nothing less of pure entertainment. Let's go take a look at our drivers, shall we? Starting off with the man at the top of the timing sheets, it's Jaden Harrison in the Ford. Last time we were here, he found some great success at Brands Hatch in GT4. Let's see what he can do out here. He's currently the fastest driver in the Ford. Next up, it's Andy Rees, chasing down after a bit of a bad ending to his last bout. Back in the last round for the German Grand Prix, Andy Rees is looking for redemption. Had a pit lane speeding penalty that ruined all his hopes as he was battling for the race lead. He finished in the top 5, has gone down a heap of points, looks to turn it back around. He is now the top 2 quickest in this session. In third place, Krogsgaard in the Ferrari, also looking to continue his momentum. He's had a great showing in the last round of the championship. He's scored himself a 4th position result at the end of the German Grand Prix. Let's see what he can do in the Ferrari. Next up, it's your championship leader. Has won 3 races. He has the hat trick in this championship. If there's one man you want to call Max Verstappen, it's this one that you're looking at on your screens right now. 79 points on the board. Next up, it's 30 points. Mike Van Doren is flying, but with the new update, we're going to see if he can continue his momentum. He hasn't been the quickest overall in the server, but nothing new. Wait till you get to qualifying. That's where he saves all his powers. The Flying Dutchman is going to have some proving to do on track, but we're going to see what he can do come race pace. Next up, it's Klaus Clint. Currently sits in the pits in the McLaren. Up next, it is David Costa. The Portuguese driver has a bit of an update on his livery. So a little more better on the cars here. You can take a look at it just past our screens there. Beautiful livery done as well. Let's continue Evan Steinberg also has some fresh new paint, the white and blue Ford number 35. His teammate will not be racing here today, but they're going to be looking for a great result on Team Escape. Following on next, we have a debut driver sitting in the pits, but Daniel Stella is ready to put some action out there on track in the Lamborghini. Up next, Danny Nasir in the McLaren as he's just battling on with the Beamer of Andy Rees. Martin Webster sits in the pits in the Aston Martin, as well as his teammate just behind him in the current standings. Marlon Young also in the Aston Martin, teammates with Martin Webster for X-Play. Enzo is also on track here in his iconic purple and white Ferrari. The Hatsune Miku car is looking pretty strong out here. The Brazilian has set a lot of laps on board here in practice. Let's see how's it going to work out here for qualifying, then eventually the race. Tazwanto makes his debut. Wanted to get in on the last week's action, but is now going to get his hands. His debut race is today here at Brands Hatch, a great track to get your start around here. We're going to see how he does getting his footing around here, and then going to have to focus and play against some of the best drivers from all around the world. Tazwanto, best of luck to you in your first race out here. Vander Hayden looks to continue some good momentum, try to get some more points onto the board. He currently sits pretty comfortably in the driver's standings. He's got a lot of work to do to catch up, however, but nonetheless, though, we're going to see how he does total in the standings. Oh, the Lamborghini goes for a bit of a spin. Steven Bola in the Audi, still in the pits, was able to improve his lap times overall in practice, so should be on course for some good race results around here. He currently sits 15. Sean Lee also in the pits, unable to make some practice throughout the week, so going to be interesting to see how he does in some racing without that much practice. Qualifying maybe his best opportunity to get some stuff in. Ronnie Cummins in the Ferrari. I believe this is his first race out here. Just cruising it around in practice, getting a feel for the car. His first debut race as well. We're going to see what Ronnie does on track. Let's get to the rest of the drivers, shall we? I think actually we have topped all our drivers. I think the last but not least, we are still waiting on Michael McName, who was in the session a bit earlier. Lance Nasir, DeVille Park, Brandon Smith, Ash Hamilton, Ryan Maramiri, Vincenzo Oswin Anderson. Sven, unfortunately, has said he's not going to be out here today. Deb Ransfield, Andrew Naran, and Jarrell Moore. A couple drivers we might potentially see on track, but we have one more minute until we get into qualifying. So make sure if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the action thus far, but qualifying is really when stuff is going to get underway. 10 minutes of qualifying coming your way. 45 seconds left to go until we get the action underway here. Who is going to be your pole man here for the fourth round? Pole position is going to be what is going to be leading the drivers in to one after the rolling start. 30 seconds left to go. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome to qualifying here for the British Grand Prix. It is time we get this action back underway, and let's see who's going to be taking pole position out here for the fourth round of the championship. Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to another installment of the GT World Challenge powered by the Racing Rats. GT3 Racing at its finest, giving us some amazing action in the racing scene, but qualifying is going to get hella intense out here because we do not know who's going to be taking pole position for the first time in these 2.0 updated cars. These machines brought to you by the Racing Rats, and we're going to see them in action for the first time here for this updated 2.0 mod set. The CMRSC banners around the circuit look absolutely beautiful, and, well, we're going to see who's going to be taking pole position here. The last time we were out here, it was a Jaden Harrison pole position in the Mercedes AMG GT4. So he's going to have a handful of experience as we just go over the hills and through the trees, as all the cars are going to be coming around, just exiting out here, and you're going to see one of them come out right there. And that is the Ferrari of Krogsgaard, who's going to lead us off here in qualifying. So we're going to see what the driver's going to be chasing. Well, right about now, shall we? So here we go. Let's go on board with him now as we head into turn 1. Hard on the brakes and accelerating out. Heading up to the hill and then braking into the hairpin section. Accelerating straight out. Graham Hill bend up here. And then as we exit out there, we're heading into Surtees, long left hand. You want to get the car as wide as possible, but still nail the apexes to get the front end turned in. The rear end kind of kicked out just a bit. Through Pilgrim's Drop, he has a McLaren just ahead of him of Klaus. Continuing to keep the momentum up. You want to get hard on the brakes and do Hawthorne Bend. A little bit of traffic, and oh, and that is Klaus and Ronnie. Oh, and that is Mads is going to get his lap time ruined there because I think Klaus has caught up to the rear end of the Ferrari. And that is going to ruin Krogsgaard's lap. I don't think Klaus really had much to go. He needed to get out the way, but Ronnie was just in the way the wrong time there. All right, make sure you guys are watching who's around you and who's behind you, especially if there's drivers on a lap. Krogsgaard's going to put his lap time up there anyways of a 1 minute 26, but it's not going to be as quick. Steinberg puts up a lap, followed by Marlon Young, 24.866. So far the time to beat. Drivers hustling across the line. Tizwanto, it's a 28.2, 27.3 from Enzo in the Ferrari. Danny Nasir putting himself up into P4, but it's Mike Van Dorn who puts up a time, but Jaden Harrison will take up a time of a 1 minute 23.0. Andy Rees is going to go quicker. 22.993 will hold provisional pole. Costa will put himself up into 4th position, and times are already getting up there. Look at all the grass being kicked out on the end of the circuit there as they headed into turn 1 of Paddock Hill Bend. But as it stands right now, Andy Rees wins the first round of this jolt, and he is looking to improve this lap time. Jaden Harrison also, he is purple in the first sector. Van der Hayden might have to get out the way for the Jamaican. Flies in to Hawthorne Bend. Into Westfield Bend. And 2/10 up in the middle sector. He's purple and he's looking fast. The Ford is looking very good. Sheens now clips it in. Ronnie off the track there onto the left-hand side. Does not distract the Jamaican as Danny Nasir ahead of him as well. Remember, all these drivers on their own laps. Into the final corner of Clark Curve onto the front straight. Jaden Harrison, looking quick all around, is going to race to the line and puts himself on provisional pole. It's a 1 minute 22.764. What can the likes of the others respond with? 5 minutes already left to go. Andy Rees cannot improve on his time so far. Van Dorn does not look like he's going to be having an improvement on this lap either, 42. McName on track in the Ferrari. Teammates of Jaden Harrison. And we're going to see how he does out here. Racing to the line now. Comes across at 7/10 down. Still in 4th position. Costa still P5. Steinberg 6th. Young 7th. Nasir 8th. Krogsgaard 9th. And Tizwanto is in 10th. That's your top 10. Already being shuffled around. Klaus going up into 6th position in the McLaren. And you hear just the downshift of the BMW as Andy Rees is trying to push this car really hard. We're going to see what he does around here. lots of action going on here on track in this qualifying session. Remember, racing is coming up very soon. 18 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the action, because it's about to get even better. Just you wait. Andy Rees are coming across the line. It's an improvement, 22.979, but it's not going to be improvement on his position. So far, that's held on to Harrison. He's still warming up for his flyer, but he's getting those tires ready to go, giving some space to the Lambo ahead of him. Speaking of the other Lambo of Vander Hayden, currently sitting in 17, so the Lambo's having a little bit of a struggle around here. We do know from our timing sheets that the Audis were fastest overall, set by Luca Andretta. Stella in his first bout around here. And we're going to see what Daniel can do in his first qualifying session, as Krogsgaard is going to come past our screens there as he was watching his teammate, and Krogsgaard's going to take up the front row of a 22.892. But so far, it's still Jaden at the top. Let's go back on board with him. See, can he improve? Oh, it's 2 tenths down in the first sector, so cannot find any improvement there. Carvalero and Webster trading positions for P11, but still nothing can be done for the two of them from the front pack. They're trying to break into the top 10. And here we see Mike Van Dorn, who's got a purple first sector on his belt there in the last lap, but is backed off. 2 minutes left to go here in this qualifying session. Anything and everything can still happen around here. We still are looking for a man for pole position. Prix coming across our screen there. Nothing to be improved by to at least take down his teammate on an out lap. And Jaden Harrison going to come across the line. This may be the 2 lap to go kind of final remark if Jaden can at least get 1 lap down over here, but he knows that as the laps and the track improves, anything can happen. Oh, trouble. Andy Rees has hit the wall, teleports to pits, get back out, but I don't think he's going to get back around in time. McName also follows him. Their qualifying might be done. They're going to try to race hard to get to the front. Welcome, Tavar, into the chat, and welcome to all our members in our community. 55 seconds to go, and we're still watching who's going to take pole position. We're going to watch Jaden. He's already a 10th up. Knows that he's going to have to defend. Krogsgaard also in the pits. He's not going to have anything to do with it. Has to watch out still for Van Dorn. Harrison, on the other hand, though, goes slower in the middle sector, but found a 10th in the first. So far, he's just a 10th down. Needs to push hard in this last couple of corners. Into the left-hander. Oh, and he spins it, hits the wall. His qualifying's done. As we watch Daniel now, first lap here, comes across the line, goes up into 11th in his debut. Good stuff, but the top 3 so far are out of it. Andy Rees is not going to get around. His qualifying's done. He's not going to get a lap time in. As far as we know, checkered flag is out. Van Dorn sits in 4th position, and it doesn't look like as well he's improving. And this qualifying session may be over as the checkered flag comes across. Steinberg, though, we're going to watch him, see what he can do. Come across the line now, and he's a 2 seconds off, though, so I don't think that was anything to write home about. Enzo comes across now. Nothing can be done for him. Van Dorn, we're going to keep an eye on him. What's his time looking like? Can he find any improvements? 4th place, goes up the pole! Mike Van Dorn takes pole! Mike Van Dorn with a 122.693 out of nowhere! Our sector times did not update us, but Van Dorn has pulled the bunny out the hat and has taken pole position! That is why we call himself the Flying Dutchman in the dying stage stages of qualifying. What a lap time from the championship leader when you think everything is lost for him in that pole position. What a lap. Wow. Did not expect that one at all. He purpled the first sector, 25.566. My goodness, times are still coming across the line, but that is actually going to be it's done. Qualifying is complete, and Mike Van Dorn has just taken an insane pole position here for the British Grand Prix. If that hasn't excited you for the race, I bet you got to check your pulse after that one, because that was phenomenal. Absolutely insane. Let's go congratulate our drivers. Let's catch our breaths there. My apologies, but wow, what a qualifying. Let's take a look at those times on your board there. All right, congratulations, your top three, Van Dorn, Harrison, and Ricard. Mike, thank you for almost sending me into a heart attack. That was an amazing lap at the end.
I nearly sent myself into a heart attack.
that was a very good lap there, nice. Mike Van Dorn. Pole position.
Your Jamaica's in the top 5.
Mic check.
All good, Sean?
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Sean, you're doing about 105 liters for the whole race.
Really?
About 105 for the whole race.
We're going to let them talk about strategy there, but what a hell of a sector there. So just going to read it off to you. I think we can actually get it on our screens here. Just a moment. Actually, no, we cannot. Sorry about that. Van Dorn, Sector 1, 25.566. Sector 2, that Sector 1 was a personal best. Sector 2, let's actually go to his lap times. There it is. 25.566, then a 22.527, which was a personal best. He previously had the third sector best time in the last sector earlier, but was nothing to write home about. And then a 34.6 was just able to get him. But look how close that pole position time was. Let's just go back to it. Yeah, 71 thousandths. Incredible. 2 minutes and 47 seconds, though, until we get this one underway. So, let's catch our breaths here. Let's get this one underway. Let's go meet with our drivers one more time.
So, written instructions for now.
Alright, so just going to go over quickly what we're going to be doing for this one. If you were in the previous rounds, the start procedure is the exact same. If you're new to this race and you're new to the championship, we're going to be starting off with a rolling start. We're going 2 by 2 as best as we can. If you choose to not go 2 by 2, memorize the guys beside you, in front of you, and behind you. The pace will be set by the top 2 drivers, so Van Dorn and Harrison will be setting a pace of 80 to 100 kilometers. If you're a driver behind the front 2, then you're just going to be following what the car does ahead of you. Give some space. We're going to be bunching everybody up on the back straight. As soon as we make that left-hand kink onto the back straight, we're going to get everyone 2 by 2 together. We're going to sound it off. You're going to hear from race direction when we get green flag racing. Race, of course, is going to be a mandatory tire change, so once in this race, you have to come in 4 tires.
Green flag will be after the last corner, right? Or before?
After, it'll be decided by me, so don't kind of predict when all the drivers come around, because I'm still waiting until we get all the drivers lined up properly, 2 by 2 formation. So just keep an ear open.
Guys, make sure that you have some form of fuel strategy, because you might have to refuel during your pit stop.
That is true, yeah. If you've been keeping an eye out in the chat, there may be potentially, you might have to do a 2-stop in this race if you're not looking after your fuel.
No, I don't think so.
Not a 2-stop.
Well, keep an eye on
I
it,
wouldn't say a
nonetheless.
2-stop. I would say you might just have to go for another. You might have to put fuel on there for your mandatory pit stop.
Last but not
Yeah,
least,
do that anyways.
last but not least here, turn 1, keep it safe as best as you can. Of course, when we get into racing speed into turn 1, I understand a lot can go down, but be safe around there. Don't take moves early on. If you gotta brake early, brake early. There's no problem with that. But turn 1
Better
and
be safe than
Turn
sorry.
1 and turn 2.
Beat.
Turn 2
Yeah.
is even worse.
yeah. Nonetheless, though, as soon as the lights go out, it's 80 to 100. You guys know the drill. Best of luck to you guys.
Right. Good luck,
Turn
guys.
2 will probably be more safer because half the grid will be in the gravel in turn 1.
Well, let's hope not, as we now have racing underway here for the British Grand Prix here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Enjoy. Let's get the action started, shall we? Welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, and welcome to the 4th round of the GT World Challenge, powered by the Racing Rats. Now, let me tell you something. If qualifying was a spectacle to watch, then this race, as soon as these cars get on full racing speed, it's going to be absolutely monumental what goes down around here. As drivers all get onto the front. Oh, we have trouble there on the... We may have to go for a restart, actually. On the... Alright, we're gonna do a quick restart. I just saw the pack up at the back.
I didn't hear that.
We need to do better, man.
Alright, before you click go, check your setups. Check your setups. Make sure pitch stop strategies are set. It was there was like 4 or 5 cars that got packed up and got damaged at the back. We're gonna give that one more shot there.
Guys, please pay attention. We're on a formation lap. You know, like, seriously. What do you have to run into the back of somebody?
It's a formation lap, guys. Just give each other space.
You know, I have to sit yourself for another 3 minutes just because I can't drive properly. Gosh, man.
Yep, rejoin if you just disconnected there. So we got 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Just give each other space, please.
Yep, and don't worry, we're still on time here. We're just 2 minutes over the hour, so we're still on time for schedule. So a bit of a hiccup there at the start, but we did see about 4 cars get packed up in the rear end of this field. I do not know who it was. I did see a couple of these drivers back here did get caught up into each other. Nonetheless, though, gives us a bit more time to really get ourselves ready to go for this one. So, of course, race is not officially started.
Let's take a quick leak.
We're gonna let them discuss with each other. 2 minutes left to go on the timer before we get this one underway. So, quick little reset, and we'll be back with it. But let's check out the grid anyways, shall we? Mike Van Dorn, though, will take pole position out here. And let's get these timing sheets up here now. So it was Van Dorn on pole position, followed by Jaden Harrison. Look at that gap between each other. Followed by Krogsgaard in the Ferrari, Andy Rees, Andy Master Racing, second row there. P5, Michael McName. P6, Klaus Klint. P6, David Costa. P7, Klaus Klint. P8, Evan Steinberg. P9, Young. 10, Nasir. 11th, we have Daniel in his debut race. Enzo will take the 12th position. 13th will be Martin Webster. Tiswanto will be 14th. Stephen Bola will take 15th. Sean Lee will be 16th. Vander Hayden will take 17th. And that's going to round out your grid there. So 55 seconds left to go. Just a question, which version do I need? So we use the ultimate version of Assetto Corsa. We use Assetto Corsa on PC. So make sure you have the ultimate version so you have all the DLC. It goes on sale very frequently. If you join our server linked at the top, we can get the game for you pretty cheap. Let's get conversation out the way, though. Let's get take 2 underway for this race. 30 seconds left to go. Let's get this one underway. And welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's round 4 of the championship. The drivers now are going to get on track here and let the formation lap begin. What an amazing qualifying we had earlier on. If you haven't checked it out, I wouldn't recommend you rewind the stream now, but do it. You got to do it eventually. We're going to be uploading the live qualifying replay tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so take a look at that when that one comes up. Nonetheless, though, as the drivers get onto the track now for this race, this one is going to be amazing. Mike Van Dorn and Jaden Harrison will be your front pack, followed by this amazing set of drivers that you see on your screen there. 18 drivers will enter the fray, but only one will call himself the winner. 3 will call themselves the podiums, and the top 10. We'll see how it turns out at the end. The points are going to be very interesting with this race. With Van Doren still leading it by a landslide, anything can happen. This is the 2.0 pack from the Racing Rats. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for allowing us to use these amazing mods in the 2.0 set. The first time we're going to see them on air here, and we're going to see how they turn out. So, as this rolling start continues to go on, we go over the trees of Brands Hatch for this British Grand Prix. We are entering the halfway mark of this series. Next week out, we head to Australia for the Bathurst virtual. The Bathurst 12-hour in real life is going to happen on the same week as our event of Bathurst. Still 50 minutes of racing when that time comes. But nonetheless, though, we have a race to focus on right now. So as the drivers now come to our screen here, it's going to be Aston Martin against Ford Mustang at the front row. Then it's going to be Ferrari versus BMW. Then Ferrari versus Audi. Let's go listen to our race direction now, and let's get this one underway. There we go. All right, start to bunch up, start to bunch up. 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Start to catch up to the driver ahead of you. And you're going to be waiting on race direction on when we sound it off. Remember, it's a long race. A lot of stuff can go down, so just be ready for it. Here we go, folks. The 4th round of the championship about to get underway right now. Here we go. Green flag, green flag. And we are underway here for the British Grand Prix. Van Doren holds on to the lead as they head into 1. Already a car off the track there, almost. Do they survive turn 1? Just about. It's Costa just off the track, avoids all the carnage, but gets away there. Mike Van Doren leads it off, followed by Jaden Harrison, Krogsgaard, and Michael McName. Andy Rees has had a poor start in 6th position, side by side with the Audi and the McLaren, as they all get through this first sector. Pretty good there. And Stephen Bola just off the track for the moment. Let's get up to our drivers now, as we have the Aston Martin leading the way. Jaden Harrison in P2. And Krogsgaard in 3rd position. As they head down the hill, there you see the BMW of Andy Rees faking some moves there. Also trying to warm up his tires. Also looks like in trouble in the back. It looks like it's Costa off, as well as Enzo. Off the track, 2 drivers getting it all wrong there. And that's going to allow some of these drivers who are keeping it safe to continue pushing up ahead. So Van Doren, still your leader on this first lap. Jaden Harrison is getting some pressure on the Ferrari of Krogsgaard. Behind him, it's McName. So Michael's going to want to catch up quickly to help his teammate out. Behind them, it's Marlon Young and Andy Rees. Andy now trying to push on from the top. Currently 6th position, trying to get into the top 5. So first lap under our belt in this 45-minute race, now underway. Already, there's a huge gap that's already turned out. Just Wanto in P8, trying to catch up to the drivers ahead of him. P9, Danny Nasir. And then you see Sean Lee also just following the Lamborghini of Daniel, who is having a great strong showing out here, currently in the top 10, but he's going to have some defending to do. Let's get a look at the rear camera there of Sean Lee. Sean, as he's trying to find a place to go. Meanwhile, the BMW faking a move there on the inside. Cannot get it done, but let's look at our drivers as they come down the hill. See maybe the Audi trying to go for a move there. No, we cannot. Martin Webster also trying to go for a move on Stephen Bola. And looks like he's got it done. Let's head back up to the front pack. And Marlon Young is struggling, trying to hold off, because Andy Rees is putting a lot of pressure on him. Michael McName also starting to fall back a little. Young goes a little bit deep on exit. It's going to allow the BMW a chance now on a position onto the inside, side by side, heading into one. Andy Rees in the BMW just about going to get the move done. It's really hard to hold it on around the outside of turn 1 at Brands Hatch. So Andy is going to be very smart. He's going to take it to the inside, get this move as clean as possible, start to work on the drivers ahead. Daniel trying to hustle on Danny Nasir, 2 green GT3 cars between each other. Tavar asking what happened to the Porsche. We're not using the Porsche for this championship. I mean, the Porsche won last year's championship, so we've given the manufacturer up in a couple. We've already selected a handful: the Aston Martin, the Ferrari, the Ford, the BMW, the McLaren, the Lambo, and the Audi. So, as we continue this race on, looks like the top pack is starting to separate each other. The drivers were very interested to know what is racing going to be like at such a short track like this. Keep in mind, in the previous rounds, we have raced at Spa, Misano, and the Nürburgring. 3 tracks with just about 2-minute lap times. Just under or just over. So now with a track with a 90-second lap time, it's very interesting to see how these drivers are going to pull up with these kind of races. You can already see the map on the right-hand side of your screen, how everybody is kind of just separating with each other and starting to really see some racing. Tavar, Porsche might be your favorite. You might love what 2025 is in store if you love Porsches. Little hint, hint. But we still have some incredible racing. With all these drivers in GT3 cars, they're still going to give us some amazing action-packed racing, and the mid-pack is going to be your favorite if you want to see that action, as we're looking at right here. Battle for P8, 9, 10, 11, and 12th, all fighting. And this is a fun little train we're watching here. This is some great racing here at the start, as you see Costa now entering in the tail end after making a mistake. The closest battle we have, though, in the top of these drivers looks like Andy Rees now starting to get on the rear of Michael McName. The Ferrari is going to have some defending to do, as the Danish driver is going to try to find a way past him. And Mr. Turner in chat, no hints for what the future holds. We're going to have to stick around and take a look at this side-by-side action. Daniel and Danny side-by-side behind him. Sean Lee, David Costa, incredible racing. Danny little bumped into the McLaren of Sean Lee, and Danny runs down the order. Jaden Harrison, fastest lap. Trouble for the Lambo. Flick spins it off the track, gets it back going, down into 14th position. Lot of action going on. Fight's not over yet. Sean Lee carves his way through the pack, goes up into 9th. Costa not gonna have any one of it. Meanwhile, Michael McName makes a mistake, drops down to 6th, and Rees goes up into 4th. Sean Lee is not gonna get the move back down on Costa. David is gonna go back up into 9th, and just like that, action can happen in a span of seconds. At any point in this race, truly, this is absolutely amazing. Mistakes can happen, but still, a lot can go down. Take a look at this. Oh, what has happened? Jaden Harrison. We don't see him on track. What has happened to the Jamaican of Jaden Harrison? Has he crashed out? We're taking a look at it live. We're going to investigate that to see what just happened. Oh, he crashed! Jaden Harrison actually made a mistake! So Jaden Harrison has retired here at the British Grand Prix after an amazing showing. He set the fastest lap. And I believe possibly his steering wheel may have disconnected. And he's out! Jaden Harrison has retired. You're not going to see anything on your main feed there. We are looking at it from our side of the wall here. But that is huge. That is mind-boggling to see the Ford out of this race. It is now advanced. Andy Rees up into 3rd position. That is great for him. Huge trouble for him. Wow.
That is a shame. Our first retirement. And just to give you guys context what happened, you see that left column there? He clipped it just under the tunnel. That is such an odd place. You can see the tire marks on the racing surface. His wheel may have disconnected and he just heads straight into the wall. And actually, we're getting some word here. Lost focus, someone made a loud outburst, went to go alt-tab to deafen and hit a wall. And so we do not know who went out there, but Jaden Harrison tabbing out of the sim. And wow, okay, so that is very interesting. Nonetheless, though, race still continues. Mads, though, heads into the pits for his pit stop. In this race, drivers have to make a mandatory tire change. So they have to come in once, change the tires. Fuel is optional, but we have heard that refueling for a second stop may be necessary in this race. Ooh, look at that. Bit of a slide there. Now McName, the only Jamaican now on track. I think Van Doren is trying to ask what happened to Mads. There we go, just getting confirmation from him. So as this race continues on, the mid-pack is still having fun, because this is now Klaus Klint against Martin Webster, battle for 9th. McLaren versus McLaren. Oh, and we might have spoken a little too soon. I hope that's not a commentator's curse, because now there's a McLaren sitting in the middle of the track. Has to get it out the way. He's going to drop down some position. And that is not helpful. Krogsgaard's going to catch up, but I think the incident should be clear by the time he gets around there. He may see a slow McLaren, and there he is. And that's a bit of a shame there for Klaus. He was working there just to try to get to the rear end of Webster. Gets it all wrong. Gets it back going, though, nonetheless. Remember, still a long race to go. 37 minutes. 17 of you guys are watching the stream. We had a peak of 21. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like the stream if you are liking it, and subscribe and support CMRSC. We're on course for 750 subscribers. It would be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button as this race starts to get a little more intense, because now strategy is really going to get up the play. Mike Van Doren already has a 10-second lead on Andy Rees, but Andy now in P2 has his teammate who went into pits, so the top two still yet to make their pit stops. A lot can still happen around here in this race. And a lot will happen. Just going to make a double check on the stream, making sure everything's good. Stream side, we can continue this action. So hopefully everything is good on stream side. Looks good on our side. But do let us know if you see any irregularities on the stream. But let's continue this one here. Danny Nasir sitting in P8 has a car in front of him. Oh, and a car around him. That is Sean Lee, who's clipped the grass. Currently sitting, waiting for a spot to move. There's a BMW. And the Audi, he can flick spin it now, has some space. He knows it and gets it back going. He clipped the grass there, you can see. Just touched it, and that is a little unfortunate for him. Krogsgaard catching up now, as McName is also catching up to Marlon Young. And we got two great battles coming up. Here comes the Ferrari now. Where do you look? Pick your poison, inside, outside. Looks to the inside for the moment. Tries to force Klaus into a mistake. Klaus, though, is going to enter the pits, so that's going to be easier for Krogsgaard to get through. He's up another position as he tries to push and get right back up to the front. You're not seeing a ghost here, but it is a very similar liveried car for Michael McName and Mads Krogsgaard. We also have a bit of action here. Costa and Steinberg going side by side down the straight. This could be very good here. Audi versus Ford. Around the outside, Costa will go and sends Steinberg and gives him a lesson. Schools him around the outside. Great move as David Costa now goes up into 5th position. Steinberg is going to have to start to push now, try to catch back up for that position as well. Another battle that is under a second is Stephen Bola and Tizwanto. Both of them fighting hard. That's BMW against Audi. But this is a battle for the podium here. Michael McName trying to get Marlon Young here. Aston Martin and Ferrari. Let's see what kind of battle these two are going to have. Heading into the kink. Oh, Marlon runs a little bit deep. Here's a chance for the Ferrari. Can he stuff it down the inside? Backs out wisely. Looks for the straight now. Try to get a slipstream. Good exit there from the Ferrari. This is going to be a good run. Potentially for third position. Can he get the move on Marlon Young? Marlon's going to have to defend the inside, but it's still going to be a sitting duck. Actually does not feel like Michael's going to go for the move, and he thought right. This is a real battle of true Caribbean sim races. Marlon Young, the Guyanese, and Michael McName, the Jamaican. Both of them fighting very hard. This is your battle for third position. Marlon Young really trying to hold off. He has had a great result in the last outing of the German Grand Prix, and then previously was really well in the top 5 for the Italian Grand Prix, but now we get to see what he can do. Can he get a podium now? He's fighting for it hard. McName trying to battle him tooth and nail, trying to see what he can do out here. And lap traffic already around them, and that's Enzo, so he has to pull to the side, let the cars through, go ahead of him, and both of these guys can continue. No advantage won or lost between any of them. But the longer this battle takes, the longer it's going to take to catch up to the drivers in front, because we have 32 minutes left to go, and if Michael thinks he's faster than Young, and he wants to charge up for the win, he's got 10 seconds to catch up to Andy Rees if he can get this move done quicker. Meanwhile, we also have Krogsgaard. And Sean, trouble for him, heads into the gravel, saves it just about, but is going to lose a position, and Krogsgaard's going to go through another place. You got back up to your battle for third position, Michael McName and Marlon Young. Still together, still facing each other off. Still, we do not know who is going to come out top of this battle. Are we going to see pit stops come into this battle, similar to how we saw Klaus and Krogsgaard, as Klaus was like, you know what? It's going to be a waste of time fighting you and defending. Let me just make my pit stop now. Both of them deciding not to, going to stay out. And we also have Van der Hayden in the pits. Lamborghini just to your left there for the moment. And looks like Young is starting to break away from Michael. Oh, and he goes very wide here. Maybe a chance. Cannot get it done. Meanwhile, Krogsgaard already caught up to another one. Stephen Bola. As they go side by side. Remember, Krogsgaard is on some fresh rubber. He made his pit stop early on. So, as he goes around the outside, that's what the effect of fresh rubber is. The fresh softs are going to help Krogsgaard get up into 9th position. Marlon Young is starting to break away from Michael McName. This is a great battle between them, as it's really stealing the show. Oswald Wilson cheering on his friend and rival. Loves to see what Marlon can do. Marlon Younger, 2024 DTM World Champion. His first championship in his CMRSC career. As he kicks up the grass on the outside. He's still doing well. His teammate Martin Webster sits in P12, trying to enter into the points. He's slowly working on it. All eyes are on this exploit driver of the two. And it looks like he's starting to just about get away. We're going to take a look at those lap times between each other, but the crowd is absolutely loving it. So, between Marlon Young, Michael McName, Marlon's last lap was a 25.404. Michael was a 25.353, so McName is quicker. this one? Just answer, where's Martin? He's currently sitting P12. There he is on track. As another position potentially being made, Krogsgaard has Tezwanto ahead of him for 8th position. Tezwanto in his debut race currently sits 12th now. Looking for a move. A little bit of a lock up there from the Ferrari. Really, this is a Ferrari showcases. The rear end just steps out quite a bit for Tezwanto, and that's going to send him wide. Can he fight back? No, he cannot. Has to let go, and Krogsgaard will go up into 8th position. Andy Rees, fastest lap of the race, 23.382. It's a bonus point for the fastest lap. If you're just tuning in, welcome to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. If it's your first time racing or watching with us, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 750 subscribers. It would mean a whole lot if you can hit that subscribe button, like the stream, if you're liking it. That'll show more eyes to CMRSC. Oh, in trouble there! Whoa! Disappearing act from Vanderheyden. I think he just took it straight to the pits. I'm not too sure how he did not get a penalty for that. Then he went into the pits from race control, but nonetheless, though, he has saved whoever that was following behind him. Potentially could have had an incident between them. Nonetheless, though, as we continue this race on, Krogsgaard's next driver is quite a long ways away. There's Krogsgaard. He is pretty far off from the next man. To be specific how far he is. 18 seconds it looks like. Is that 18 seconds? That might be wrong. But there's Danny Nasir, Krogsgaard. Yeah, no, he's pretty far off. 18 seconds indeed, that is correct. Meanwhile, one thing's for sure, McName has not left Young over a second. As we have lap traffic there, Vanderheyden was one lap just out the pits. Let's do these drivers. Oh, and Costa now in for his stop. No, he stopped in pit road. Did he not set a pit stop strategy? Well, he's in pits nonetheless, though, getting his service on his car. Mandatory for these drivers. Bola trouble. 360 and gets it going. Front end's going to be damaged, but he's gone through. We remember the last time we saw Stephen Bola with damage, the front end was hanging on itself, so glad to see it's not that much damage this time around. Costa now gets back onto track, is going to race his fellow Audi, who Bola's just about going to get ahead of him, but goes wide off, almost off track. Big dive on the inside for David Costa, the Portuguese driver. Gonna send it, and he's gonna get that one done. Andy Rees, another fastest lap. The gap has gone down from 10 to 8.5. 26 minutes left to go, and if Andy Rees can keep this momentum up, there is a great chance that Andy Rees could fight Van Dorn at the end of this race. It's a long way to go. Van Dorn is gonna have to keep his pace up, but Andy's gonna have to find a way to be quicker. He holds the fastest lap. BMW versus Aston Martin. A fight that we have seen so many times. Look at the last round, for example. Those two had a great fight between each other. That's a battle to save for later. Let's call that our dessert. Let's talk about what is the main course here. We've already had our entrees for the start of this race. As we settle into the midway through this race, 25 minutes and 23 seconds left to go. We have a couple drivers still fighting it out with each other. One thing's for sure, McName and Young are still nose to tail. Young cannot shake off the Ferrari unless somebody heads into the pits. Klaus, though, up ahead. Dirty air for Young. Maybe this is a chance for McName to get past him. Klaus still up ahead. And oh, in trouble there! In contact for Marlon Young and Klaus Klint! Could Klaus have gotten out the way sooner? Don't put the power down too early. Marlon Young makes contact with Klaus Clint. That is mind-boggling. What just happened? You see the Ferrari in the background just off. Marlon Young definitely needs to come in after that one. What in the world was that? I think that's what the world is asking now. Young is staying out. And he's going to push on. He doesn't feel like he has that much damage. He's lost himself a podium. McName, I don't think even he's going to be happy with what just happened. But for Klaus, could Klaus have gotten out the way earlier? Did Klaus feel like they weren't close enough? Was there even space? That's trouble for Bola and Tezwato, another Guyanese, gets it wrong. As Andy Reese just about gonna pass him, Tezwato heads in for his stop. Is that the luck of Marlon Young? Was that a hiccup on his end? Now, at the end of the day, it is the responsibility for the driver on the rear to make the overtake, the clean overtake, the respectful overtake on track. There is lap traffic. Oh, and Young at the same section runs off. Is there damage on the car? No, but I have a feeling that Marlon Young is a little upset over what happened. And I don't blame him. Does Young come in this time? He does not. And Marlon Young, feeling like I mean, at the end of the day, the drivers have been talking about earlier that this is going to be a fuel race, at least towards the end. If you're going to make this a one-stop, a confident one-stop, you may have to do a little bit of lifting. So the drivers do understand that, as I believe I just saw Costa just run off the track momentarily. But nonetheless, though, like I said, it is a responsibility for the drivers. Oh, as Sean runs off just for the moment there. The driver in the rear has to overtake responsibly. The blue flag car needs to let go as soon as he can in a clean and respectful manner. That will be reviewed. Nonetheless, though, leaders in the pits. Did we see any mistake? We don't know. We caught him as he's now in for a stop. Oh, trouble. Danny Nasir and Martin Webster, I believe they may have made contact with each other. We're getting on word that both of them damaged at the same time. That's leading me to believe something just happened. McName now into the pits. Marlon Young off the track again. And he's out. Marlon Young has retired from the British Grand Prix. It's gone from bad to worse to nightmare for the Guyanese. That is hard. That is hard luck for him. Reviewed after the race 1000%. But that is huge. Now 2 big players of this race out of this one. Meanwhile, though, we look back up to the front pack. Andy Rees now enters the pits. Oh, hits the wall as well. That's not going to help him. No drive-thrus. So that's good. Probably the first race now in this championship without a drive-thru penalty. Just yet, I don't want to jinx it. Andy Rees now for a stop. Has he done enough? Van Dorn enters the back straight. And we're waiting. When does he come out? There you go, on board with Van Dorn, and is not coming out yet. There you see the Aston go through. The Beamer now comes out. And for 20 minutes, it's game on. Lap traffic's gonna go between Andy Rees, though, as all the Beamers gonna get it wrong there. Keep the power down. And both of them are fine. Next up for Andy, it's Klaus. And then it's time to fight for the top, because the gap, ladies and gentlemen, is 6.5 seconds. This is gonna be a true battle here. between titans of CMRSC. We asked at the beginning of the year, who is Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's next man to beat? Mike Van Dorn or Andy Rees? It's two drivers that are going to be very, very important faces throughout the whole entirety of 2025. As Lee now heads in for his stop, we continue this one here. As Van Dorn, runs off the track for a second there. Making a little mistake running wide. The gap is still opening up because Klaus needs to get out the way. And Klaus, I'm not too sure what's going on, but that's the second time he's not let a driver through. He's going to get a warning for that one now. If that happens again, he will be getting a penalty. But Klaus, I'm sorry, man, but you need to let through lap traffic if you are a lap down. And now we got to wonder, is there something wrong on Klaus's side? Because he's normally not a driver that does that. Or is there something internally wrong? And I hope it's something internally, because that is very unsportsmanlike if he's doing that on purpose. But I don't believe he would. That is not what I know Klaus would do. Nonetheless, though, Andy has lost a bit of time. He's lost at least about half a second. But I think he's already about to gain that up quickly. He's already 6.8. He was 7.1 by that time. Granted, Mike had to overtake Sean Lee. So that would have potentially helped him. McName, trouble was there. I think there was a bit of contact between himself and Tazwanto. We did get word that there was a bit of damage on his car there. 20 of you guys viewing the stream, thank you so much for tuning in to CMRSC. Hit that subscribe button if you're enjoying the action thus far, because the battle for the race win could very much commence in the next coming, if I were to make a prediction, I'd say give it about the next 10 minutes. And you may see these two guys start to fight. I may stand corrected, though. Because 1:23, 1:69, fastest lap for Andy Rees. The gap's going down quicker. I'll revisit my comments in about 5 minutes, and we'll see where they're at. Let's go down through the order, though, as Danny Nasir will have to let through blue flags to the race leader, and knows that. And he's lifting. Gets out the way, so respect from the RDN racing driver, Danny Nasir. And up next for Van Dorn to overtake is P8 of Martin Webster. Two Aston Martins with each other as Sean Lee enters the pits. Let's give an update on pit stop strategies so far. So the following drivers have yet to make their pit stop. That is Stephen Bola, and that's about it. Marlon Young was yet to make his pit stop, but he's out of this race. So it's just the guy who needs to make his stop. But the rest are still good. But to give you an update on tire wear, though, Mike Van Dorn with 5 lap-old tires, Andy Rees with 4 lap-old tires, meaning it's only a 1 lap difference, but it depends how you use them. That could really matter coming into the end of this race. Andy Rees continues on in second position. 6.2 seconds. Gap is closing. Meanwhile, Danny Nasir is caught up to Martin Webster. Slipstreaming now on the Aston Martin. Heading into the right-hander. Got to carry as much speed as possible. And getting even closer is Danny Nasir. Both of them missing the apex. Webster goes a little bit wide. Closer now is the McLaren. Gonna be nose to tail very soon. Very fast part through the kink. Onto the last corner before they get onto the back straight. Danny could potentially set himself up for a good move out here. Martin Webster nails the corner exit. And behind those two, it's Andy Rees So Andy's gonna have to be smart about this or hope that Danny can get the move done so this battle's over. 5/10 the difference between these two. And looks like Danny is losing some ground, but both of them know that lap traffic, they know they are. And even though they're in a battle, they need to let the BMW through behind them. So 3 different manufacturers you're seeing on your screen now. The gap is 5/10 now. You see the Beamer coming up. Gap is about to be 6 seconds, but it could very well go back up. We're gonna go on board with the BMW. So both of them are in a battle, so it's a pretty interesting dynamic. Does Danny let through? And then Chase. Oh, here we go. Has to get out the way. Knows he has to get out the way. I don't think that's going to lose the Beamer anytime. So Danny's going to fall behind, but what's smart now is that Danny can follow Andy Rees, and once Martin is forced to get out the way for Andy, Danny can surprise Martin Webster with an attack. He needs to get closer, though, to the rear. Webster needs to get out the way here. Still ahead. Needs to find a place to go through. Gets out. Just about does. And in fact, I think that's helped Andy Rees get a slipstream down the straight. So I think that was good that he stayed behind him because the gap is just about dancing between 6 seconds and 6.1. 12 minutes, 54 seconds left to go. We can continue this battle here as we watch now. Danny Nasir's caught right back up to Martin Webster. Still nose to tail. They can continue their battle. Looks to the inside. Cannot get it done. Slipstream engage for Danny Nasir and the McLaren. It's all about how you set up these cars. Really going to take effect. And here we go. As they're on to the straight now. Gap is 2/10. You can make an overtake with this kind of time, but Danny is going to back off with that move. Where do you place your car to get ahead to take P8? That's the question that we're asking. Danny's got some sort of plan that he's got to cook up into his head, but if you're Webster, you got to figure out how you defend. Take a note from how Marlon Young was defending against Michael McName. Use that to your advantage. They're teammates after all, as both of them runs off the track. Gap between Rees and Van Doren updating is 5.7. Now that Andy Rees is in clear air, huge opportunity for the Danish driver. Steven now finally gets into the pits. Now every driver has made their pit stop. Meanwhile, Danny Nasir still pushing on. Hard onto the brakes, trying to go in for an over-under, but Martin, smart, closes it off. Into the left-hander, Danny makes it as wide as possible, does not hit the apex though, so it's not really going to gain much time. Meanwhile, Andy Rees has gone from 5.7 to 6.5. Possibly made a mistake as he's trying to chase down Van Doren. We're at 11 minutes left to go. McName though, trouble on the front straight. Slow car on the track, needs to get out the way there. And Michael McName, who was in P4, is going to go down to 6th position because Costa and Steinberg are now caught up, and Evan has got up into 4th position. Career best for him so far. If he can hold on to P4, but Costa is behind him, battles are really coming in. This is what we call the dessert of this race. This is going to be some action. Meanwhile, can Danny Nasir get a move? This is where the action is going to take place. So don't leave your screens. Here we go. Martin Webster gets a great exit. That Aston Martin, very strong on corner exit, and is able to keep ahead. Danny Nasir, though, going to continue trying to force him into a mistake. "10 minutes left to go." That's the final warning. We'll be going into single digits now. This is going to be a good one coming to the end of it. Danny Nasir, can he get it turned in time? No. The rear end is just not complying with him. He's fighting understeer. That could be just the dirty air. as he sees it. He's trying to find a move, but the outside is just not working. Meanwhile, Costa really aggressive on the Ford. As and Costa now runs off the track momentarily, gonna allow a chance for McName to catch up. This may be a one-shot to dive it down the inside. Does he? He doesn't. Has to back out. Costa's just gonna lose time, but not a position. McName, though, can he look to the inside? Cannot get it done. 3-car battle for 4th place. Both of them hitting the curb awkwardly. Steinberg's gonna go through. He's gonna keep ahead and he's gonna build a gap. Van Dorn responds with the fastest lap of the race. Gonna make Andy Rees his trouble from bad to worse. Really has to work harder as Owen Evan trouble hits the wall. And Steinberg's time, 4th position, is gonna go down the drain. That was his career best. Makes a mistake, pressure getting to the young man. Gets it wrong. Still a lot of time to catch up. And trouble as Webster and Danny Nasir also contact between each other as well. All the action happens at the same time, doesn't it? But by the looks of things, it may be Danny Nasir may have tapped the rear of Martin Webster. And Danny is just giving the place back. So, still continuing their race. All the action happening at once. It kind of sucks. We want multiple cameras in this one, that's for sure. Meanwhile, McName now can focus on P4. He was at P4 for the majority of this race. That's his target goal. As he's trying to fight up now. Meanwhile, your top 3 really stayed the same for quite a while now. 7 minutes and 36 seconds. Van Dorn is putting the pressure back on to Andy Rees. As now, here comes the Ferrari of Michael McName. Here we go. Let's see what they can do around here. Into the left-hander. You can see it just mashing the throttle. Krogsgaard, trouble possibly. He has a bit of damage on his front end. Did he make contact? He might have made contact with Van der Hayden, because both of them have damage with each other. And Andy Rees has made a mistake as well. What did I say? All the action's happening at the same time. Andy Rees may have potentially thrown it away. I don't think Andy's gonna catch up anymore. He may have lost the rear end through Clark Curve. And Andy Rees went from 5.7 to now 9.6. Mike Van Dorn may be in the clear, but still has 6 minutes and 35 seconds plus an additional lap left to go. Lots of action going on. Meanwhile, Danny Nasir, he's finally got it done. The move that's been haunting him gets it done on Martin Webster for P8. Battle's not done yet, though, because the Aston Martin is very good on corner exit. What did I say? What is going on, man? Action at the same time at different parts of the circuit. We're not complaining that much. Oh, Danny clips the grass. He's going to lose a position. Out, he hits the side body of Martin Webster, and Danny goes for a spin. One word. Well, 2 words. How unfortunate. A subtle course of physics. You just can't get enough of them. Danny Nasir has gone from P8 to 10th. Just by tapping the inside, nothing to do with Webster, all to do with Assetto Corsa. When you hit the inside of a car like that, the physics will send that person who turned in into a frenzy. That battle comes to a dead end there. And Danny now, although still in the points, will not be able to battle Webster anytime soon. Andy Rees, it's like everything is being taken away from us at the end of this race. First, it's Andy Rees getting it wrong, then Danny Nasir. 5 minutes left to go. If this is a race of truly up, then downs, then ups, then downs, if we're at our down part, what's the next up? I think we may have found it. Oh, Vanderheyden off the track there. I think he's just letting blue flags through, and Michael McDade! Oh, he's made a mistake! Wrap it up, folks. This race has gone from bad to worse there. Every driver who's caught up at the end of this one is making a mistake. Another battle that we've lost there. Vanderheyden is caught in the grass. I don't know if that's your way of letting through blue flags or he's got an issue with the car. It may be an issue. Trying to get through. Oh, Van Dorn, though, also just getting past him. He gets back on track. I don't know if he was letting through blue flags, but that's not really the best way to do so. But Vanderheyden, nonetheless, maybe it might be something on the car, an issue with it. Another battle gone down the drain. That is mighty unfortunate. No fault to the drivers, really. They're pushing with their absolute might, and mistakes can happen. That's the truth of racing. Steinberg, though, still has a chance to catch up. Maybe the battle we're watching at the end, because Evan is starting to close up 3 seconds to David Costa. Let's look at these two drivers across the line there after that previous lap. Costa with a 23.8, Evan with a 24.8. So Evan is a second slower, but he's still closing. Slowly but surely. Mowing the grass indeed. But this has still been an incredible race, and with 3 minutes left to go, Mike Van Dorn is about to take the 4th race win in a row. Truly, we have never seen a sweep, and Van Dorn, if he can win this race, will have swept half the championship. And if he doesn't win the championship at that point, you just gotta wonder what went wrong. Because if this truly is the momentum shift that Van Dorn needed after 2024, and Mike is doing such an amazing job. As we catch our breaths there, Van Dorn is comfortable. Does not have to push as much as he needs to. Andy Rees making a mistake as he tried to close up. Would it have been possible at the end of the day to catch up to Mike? And would it have even been possible? Would it have even been possible at all to get the move done? And yes, there are championship slots. Make sure you're in our Discord and give us a shout in the general chat. After this round, we're going to be clearing some slots and allowing more drivers to come through and get in on the action. Because right now, we're a carnival going country to country. Our question to you, can you take down Mike Van Dorn? It's a poster that we're going to put up anywhere and everywhere. Because he is wanted by all the drivers, but he is a man who can never be caught. 8 seconds, 8.8, 8.9. Gap's reducing, but time is not on Andy Rees' side. Krogsgaard in 3rd position. Great early pit stop, I will say, and has cut up through the field brilliantly. And is able to get up to the front pack. The drivers are going to have... Well, let's see, where is Van Dorn? They're right now at 3 laps to go. Once Van Dorn crosses the line, they'll be on the 2 to go. And if you've stuck with us thus far throughout this race and seen the ups and downs of this race, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed it. And join us if you want to get in on this action. Next week out, we head to Bathurst for the Australian Grand Prix, the same weekend as the GT3s in the GT World Challenge in real life for the Bathurst 12-hour. So make sure you get in on that race, or if you're more of a spectator, you gotta watch that one, because that may be one of the most entertaining races. We've been to the Bathurst 1000 for V8 supercars, never with GT3. So we're gonna have ourselves a great fight when that time happens. Checkered flag is not out yet, so ignore the top left, but the timer though is up. The drivers are gonna have 2 to go. instructed by Mike Van Doorn. At the top of your screen, you see the green bars. That'll turn to white when we get to our last lap. Steinberg, though, is unable to get to the front. You do say no runoffs at the mountain, but for a couple years, we have not seen trouble with that. And drivers going off. The mountain has been pretty kind to these drivers. They've been smart. But it's really all skill when it gets there. Every race is skill, but Bathurst is going to be the hardest track of this championship. That's going to happen in 7 days' time. Make sure you tune in for it. Same time, same place here at CMRSC. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell when we go live. And stay tuned to our channel. Every single day we upload daily. Tomorrow you're going to get the qualifying highlights. Day after that, we're going to see the pole time in depth to see how Mike Van Doorn put up such an amazing lap. On Tuesday, we're going to be showing you the race highlights. Wednesday, we got some special stuff going on. And then Thursday is when we get in to the mood for the land down under. But nonetheless, though, that's in a week from now. But we still have this race to talk about because there is so much to go through, so much information to digest after this one. Incidents galore, but one thing's for sure, the top driver has always stayed the same. In motorsports, you're going to find somebody who dominates. We're looking for our next alien. We may as well be looking at him right now. As Van Doorn steers the ship onto the front straight, Mike Van Doorn will take race 4 of 4. 4 wins in a row as he wins the British Grand Prix. Mike Van Doorn, the Flying Dutchman, gets it done. Andy Rees will get the championship recovery as he's up into 2nd position. Krogsgaard will take home a 3rd place finish. He's still got a bit of racing to do as he's coming around. But he will be taking 3rd place. Don't let the top of your name tags bother you there as he comes across now. What an amazing race. Krogsgaard comes around the final corner and will take home 3rd position. The early stop truly paid off for him, and it was a great comeback to the top. P3 for him, and that is your top 3. As he celebrates by slamming it straight into a wall. Let Ferrari deal with that damage afterwards. But it's this man, Mike Van Doorn, who's gone 4 race wins in a row. The most dominant driver of 2025 is this man, Mike Van Doorn. What an incredible race it was for him. He takes the top spot here at Brands Hatch. And then you see all the drivers coming around, maybe congratulating him on a dominant win. Got the race lead and checked out of the hotel. Andy Rees has a long way to go in this championship fight if he wants to catch right back up in this one. But he's going to get some crazy points. Krogsgaard also was 2nd and tied in the points. Wow. This is going to be a great championship to watch, that's for sure. But it's this man. Let's go congratulate Mike Van Doorn. All right, great racing there, guys. Another amazing round. Great turnout as well. But as we finish this race off here, Mike Van Doorn, you take your 4th race win. You have swept the first half of this championship. You take victory lane here for the British Grand Prix. How was that race for you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what to say, to be honest. Probably wouldn't have deserved to win if Jaden was able to keep it going, but yeah, I'm not sure what happened, but of course he retired from the race. So I would have liked a little battle with him there, but sadly not to be. And then yeah, after that it was just be consistent, because I had quite a decent gap behind the Mads, and then of course he decided to pit very early, which I was a bit confused by that decision. And I mean, I guess it didn't really work out very well, as he dropped back very far when me and Andy came in for the pit stop. So yeah, and then I mean I had like a 6-second gap to Andy, so I was just I knew I still had to do some decent lap times, but just keep it consistent. And then he made a mistake, lost 4 seconds. So then yeah, final 5 minutes was just be very cautious and bring it home. Yeah.
4 race wins in a row. How confident are you feeling in this championship as we get into the second half of it?
I mean, I don't want to say confident. Of course, I have no clue how it's gonna be at any of the other tracks with the new cars, of course. But yeah, I mean, next week Bathurst is one of my favorite tracks out there, so that's one that I really want to win. So I'm gonna do everything I can to win there, and then yeah, we'll just see how it goes for the rest of the championship.
Can't wait to see what you can do. You hold the dominant lead in the championship. Congratulations on the race win there, Mike Vantoy. Congratulations, P1. And second place in that race there, Andy Rees. Andy, this was the race it needed to get some good points on the board, and you have. You finish in second position. Andy, how was that race for you?
Well, starting off, I went 2 wheels into the gravel in turn 1, so I lost a couple places there. And yeah, I had to battle Marlon as well as Michael McName. Unfortunately, yeah, I had an incident with Michael in turn 2 there. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to watch it back. It's certainly not his fault. I mean, it was probably late move by me, but also maybe there wasn't time to react on that as much. But yeah, from there I had quite a gap up to Mike, about 10 seconds or so. And you know, on the clean laps, I did, you know, gain tenths and eventually went down to 6 seconds. Yeah, I had a decent pit stop. I think I lost about half a second, but that was more because of traffic, which was also not optimal, but also right. And yeah, from there I was just trying to reel Mike in, and unfortunately I, you know, trying to really push and use as much of the track as possible, I end up braking with half a tire in the grass, so it's a bit of an oversteer, or a big oversteer. So yeah, there was that basically.
Nonetheless, though, you still put up some great results there. P2 is definitely what you needed in this championship, and now it's just working from here. We enter the halfway stage of this championship. 4 races left to go. Do you think this championship is still in contention for you?
To be honest, no, but I'll certainly do my very best, and you know, with still quite a lot of races left, you know, anything's still possible, so I will do my best. Not sure I can attend all of them though, so we'll have to see.
Well, not over until it's over though, so congratulations on your P2. Best of luck in now the second half of this championship. And third position, Mads, you take home a P3. An amazing strategy call in the race, pitting early on and then just cutting through the field, getting some great overtakes throughout it, and then getting back up into third position. How's that one for you?
Felt like a shitty race, to be honest. First off the start,
apologies for the language.
Forgot to change gears, so I was just stuck in first gear and lost a lot of speed. Then was behind Jaden and Mike. Felt like I could follow them quite not too hard. No, it's just following the pace. And then obviously Jaden had the moment, and then I was feeling like I could catch up to Mike. And then all of a sudden, like I've had all of the time with these new updates, it's just like the back end just started to slip out a tiny bit. Tried to correct it, and I just flew into the wall in turn 1. That is the reason why I pitted early, because I had a lot of damage. So went in and pitted. So came out in a lot of traffic. not easy to get past, so lost like every car I was behind lost like 2-3 seconds, so that pushed me quite far back. And then obviously came back, and then I don't know, a backmarker all of a sudden, I don't know who it was, just decided to put right in front of me and basically brake test me. So for the rest of the race, rest of the 50 minutes of the race, I had front wing damage. So, but definitely could feel towards the end that my tires were 40 minutes old. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Something to review, that's for sure. But nonetheless, though, you were able to then have a great recovery to come back up through the field. 4 rounds to go. You're in a similar boat to your teammate, especially in the points after the last round. Now coming into the second half of it, what are you feeling for this second half of this championship? Do you think things can turn better in your world?
I don't know, honestly. I really don't enjoy driving this new update. It's very oversteery compared to the old version, so especially on this track. It was like basically me just trying to stay on track. So I don't know.
Well, we'll see how you do in Bathurst. Hopefully luck can turn around for you and you can get a real feel for these cars. Congratulations nonetheless for 3rd position, and congratulations to all our drivers who have headed out and made it to the checkered flag. We're gonna have our debrief as always as soon as the stream is over in just about a couple of minutes. We're gonna go end it now and we'll talk to you after that, but
Can I
give yourself a pat on the back for it.
Can I just say something?
Sure, go ahead.
So I did a before, and there is a person that is watching the live, and I want to dedicate it. Is for Mia. Mia, if you are watching this P4 is for you. Thank you for watching the stream. Hope you see you next race. So have a good one.
I can't confirm for you, Mia was in the chat, so
I wasn't expecting also a P4. I was very happy for it.
we'll talk about it after, man. Congratulations, a great
All right,
P4 for you as well. And a bit of a happy ending for a lot of these drivers. Ladies and gentlemen, in 7 days' time, we head to the Australian Grand Prix for probably one of the more exciting rounds of this championship track-wise. We still have a handful of racing left to go, and the racing is going to get a lot better, taking you through the final 4 rounds as we're finally in this halfway mark. Next up, it's Bathurst. So we have not seen Bathurst in the year 2024, but it was pushed to January. Or should I say February? It's actually going to be February 1st. Wow, time moves by quick. After that, though, we head into Paul Ricard, the fast, long, straight layout. The last time we saw it was the first round of the 2024 GT World Challenge. Next up after that, we head to North America for Indianapolis. And that is going to be a crazy round. We have not been to Indianapolis for 2024 either. But now the road course we're going to be heading into, so will be amazing. And then, of course, the final round for all our first championships of the year, the Japanese Grand Prix at Okayama. Then after that, we head into open wheel season. More information to come in a couple days' time. For now, though, that's going to do it here for the British Grand Prix. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place, for another great round of racing.